Joining me in studio right now, he was on a little vacay last week, a little vacation for himself, and that's Kevin Richards with Ventura Web Design with our tech news. Welcome back.
Not technically a vacation, more like a working trip, but yeah, it was good.
Working trip. All right, talk to me about Apple announcing its new operating system. We were just talking about this a minute ago, as a matter of fact, about new operating systems for Apple.
Yeah, if you're not interested in learning what the biggest company in the world has ever seen is doing right now, you're not going to enjoy the next couple minutes. Apple has so much news, it's just crazy. So every summer they roll out their Worldwide Developers Conference, and that's when they tell all the developers what they're going to be doing to the core software, which is their operating system, as well as their hardware. Now, they didn't talk a lot about hardware at this particular conference because it's about the developers and it's about the App Store. So what they announced is that they are upgrading, of course, and they do this every year. They're upgrading their OS system. It is OS 10, and the new name is El Capitan. The current name is Yosemite, as you know, Alan. And so they've launched a couple new things that are coming out. One of the things is their Safari browser is going to allow you to pin websites up there. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to
pin websites. What does that mean?
It's kind of like a bookmarking feature, but Apple always likes to take an idea and make it better. So you're going to be able to pin websites and have easier access to them. You'll also, have you ever gone to a website and or have multiple tabs open, and then one of the websites starts playing music, and it's just absolutely annoying?
It starts the video that's on that website will open up, and people start talking.
Exactly.
I'm going, what's going on? I'm looking around the room. I'm going, ghosts or what? And then I have to go through each one of the sites that they're open to find out which one is yakking away and put it on hold.
So Apple has heard your complaints.
Thank you.
And they have solved that problem with a universal mute feature. So you'll be able to mute any of your websites that's playing music or any type of audio. The next thing they're doing is they're trying to...
That'll be on the desktop itself? Do you just click it?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're trying to compete with Google, obviously, and they are... they have a project codenamed Proactive. You and I spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, and now they've announced it. And the goal here is they're trying to improve their Spotlight search, and that's the search you can do from your phone or from your desktop. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're making it easier for you to... Basically, it's trying to figure out what you want before you ask for it. Again, like the same way Google is doing. So, for example, one of their searches that you could do would be to get mail from Brian about El Capitan. So that would be what it's doing right there. Is it's saying, go to my mail. That's the first key thing that's happening there. Second is search for mail only from Brian. And then finally, search for mail only from Brian about this particular topic. So it's very specific, and it's improving the experience. And I think a lot of why they're doing this is because they want their watch experience to be better, the Apple Watch. There's really very few ways to interact with your watch other than through your voice. So you're going to see a lot of improvement in the way voice interacts with this Apple hardware in the future.
Wow. Tell me, I know they were coming out with also some kind of Spotify competition. What's that about?
They are. So Spotify is a streaming music service, about $10 a month, and you get access to millions of songs. So, of course, Apple wants to get into that business as well. What's unique about them is Apple is promoting a human DJ service as well. So there's going to be channels you can tune into that are powered by guys sitting behind the boards and playing music. But it's also got a predictive solution. So, it'll look at your playlist. It'll look at music that you've purchased, and then it'll suggest things to you that you'll want to hear. It'll put together playlists based upon any playlists that you make and say, you know what, if you like this particular piece of music, you'll really enjoy this.
Amazon does that all the time. Will there be real people behind the board, or will it be like some kind of a electronic programmed voice?
No, they're saying it's going to be real human DJs. This is only a part of their overall service, but real human DJs on their radio.
Wow. Real quick, I want to go back to something else. You're talking about the new operating system. Will this new operating system work on the Macs, older Macs?
It definitely will. Apple has specifically stated that they want to... The whole point of this particular update is to increase stability of their operating system and to make it cleaner, faster. So that means that it's going to work on those older Mac machines. So if you've got a 2007 iMac, it's going to work. If you've got a 2008 MacBook Air, if you've got a 2007 MacBook Pro, it's definitely going to work. If you've already had Yosemite running on there, then you know that El Capitan will work as well.
I have to find out when I get home what I've got running. I'm not sure what it is. Because I did download some of those, but I can't remember. I was concerned about others, but I did it. I don't know.
I'm pretty certain your daughters have you on the latest operating system. So
yeah, they know what's going on. I'm learning from them all the time. Now, I know that you can go to Google and some of the Yahoo and some of the sites, and they have news on there, on those sites. You can go to their individual news. I understand that Apple also is going to come out with some kind of a news app or something like this?
They did announce that as well, and it's in response to Facebook Instant Answers. Remember, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago as well, where Facebook wants to be the only place that you go for news, and they want to curate that news for you. They want to give you news that's interesting to you, and they also want to make it so those publishers are putting the content into Facebook rather than on their own website. And the same kind of concept is happening here with Apple. It's going to be what's called a native app. So it's going to be something that's included on all phones automatically. And it's the same concept. It's going to, Apple always says, oh, we're going to give you a beautiful experience, a unique custom layout, beautiful, rich typography. But really, it's all about getting you to stay within their ecosystem.
You said a native app, and it's going to appear on phones automatically. Does that mean that it's just going to pop up one day on my phone?
You probably have to do an update. I think Apple's learned that that users don't like to have things just magically pop up on their phones. I think there was a song.
You too.
Right, exactly.
I did that. I had to talk to me a long time to get rid of that, but I did, thanks to Joe Sacco here. Anyway. If it's going to be on the phone, will this new news app also be on your iMac?
Well, Apple wants your experience to be the same across all devices. So I assume that it will be. I don't know that specifically as an answer, but there's no reason why it wouldn't be. I mean, continuity is something that Apple really wants. They want you to be able to go from one screen to another, just like you can, if you got your phone, and you set it up correctly, your phone and your computer will ring at the same time, and you can answer a phone call on your computer.
I never had that done.
Yeah, you can set that up. Same thing with your text messages. You can get your text messages on your computer, so that for me it makes sense because I get a lot of texts, and instead of pecking it out with one little finger, I can type on my keyboard and respond to it really easily.
See, I learn something new every day. For those who do not have Apples and Macs, I get it. You're saying today, I don't care about that. Two things, let me say. Usually we talk about, a variety of things. Today it happens to be a lot of Apple Mac news. But usually we blend it a lot with other things as well, with PCs and whatever. But today there's a lot of Mac news. And the other thing I want to say is that if you don't have a Mac, think twice next time you're going to get something, because once you go to Mac, you never go back. And I know, after having done PC for all my life, and then a year, it's been 2 years, I guess now, this July, I'm telling you, it flies. It's the difference between the Wright brothers plane that they first flew and one of those jumbo jets.
That's a pretty good comparison.
And that's the best thing I say.
I love every time you say
a year ago. Would you ever go back? No, of course not. So I see Rob Banks understands. Yeah. All right, real quickly, Apple, how are they doing with their apps?
Well, that's another thing they promoted during the Worldwide Developers Conference, how amazing their App Store has done. It's really changed the economic landscape. There have been more than 100 billion apps downloaded in just 7 years. That's amazing. And every second, there are 850 apps downloaded from that store. So you think about that. Apple has paid out over $30 billion in profit to these third-party app developers. It is a huge market, and it's really changed. I mean, it's created a whole new industry of app developers. It's amazing. So, that's one of the things that makes Apple different, is their app store. Everything, like they like to say, everything just works.
Everything does work with Apple. And I understand now they're partnering with a major car manufacturer. I mean, listen. Seriously, I mean, a watch, and that's not my bag either, by the way. This watch, I'm not getting it. And an Apple car, I mean, what?
Well, it's not quite an Apple car yet. What they've announced today is that their CarPlay product is going to be in all the new 2016 Cadillacs, and then also the Chevrolet models as well. So what CarPlay is it's a way for Apple to basically project what's on your phone onto the big screen in your car. And there's
the big screen. You don't know what your window in front?
No, not the windshield. No, sorry.
I've seen some people say about projecting certain things on that window. That's why.
Right, that's called a head-up display. And you'll usually see things like your speed and your navigation. It'll give you, turn left in 150 feet, that kind of thing. So what this is, it's a way for you to use your phone as the navigation device rather than having a onboard navigation piece of electronics. You can interact with your contacts. It's a better way to interact and make phone calls. Basically, the real thing here is Apple is getting their foot in the door into how cars operate. And Cadillac has said, you know what, instead of us trying to make our own experience, we're going to partner with the best. And that's going to make Cadillac stand out and be, more appealing to a younger audience.
So do you think that down the road, all cars will have this?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of the car manufacturers do not want to give up the control over that dashboard. They feel like partnering with either Apple or Google is going to put those guys in control of the entire experience inside of the car. And you think about a company like BMW, the ultimate driving machine, they're not going to easily or happily turn themselves into just a commodity. They want to control the entire experience. And what Apple's doing here with Cadillac is they are actually getting into some of the, controls, the knobs and the interfaces that would normally be something that the car manufacturer would be in control of.
Obviously, they've negotiated and discussed about how it's going to be done. So, they're not really giving it up as much as they are, I guess, partnering is the best word with them.
I guess that's a way to say it. But when CarPlay will start to use Siri to control your air conditioning and volume of your music and things like that, you're definitely putting Apple in control of that car experience.
Yeah, right. So you'll say, Siri, just say, yes, what can I do for you? And you'll say,
that's right.
We make it a little cooler in the car, and she'll do that for you.
Yeah, you can actually change Siri's voice. There's a couple options, I think. I think you can make her into a male, and I think there's another option as well. I haven't looked at that recently, but I do believe there are
I like
options.
her. She's fine with me. She travels with me. I know Apple Maps, they've outfitted vehicles with cameras and about taking pictures. I've heard about something like this. What is this about?
Yes, we talked about this a couple months ago, and it's, I think, a recurring theme here on the show is that you find that Apple and Facebook and Google, they're all constantly competing with one another. Who's going to do what? And so right now, Apple is trying to get away from their reliance on third parties such as Yelp in regards to their Maps product. So we talked about this, several months ago. We saw some basically minivans with weird cameras fitted on the top. And turns out Apple has now confirmed those are for Apple's Street View. And they're driving around. They've driven around Las Vegas. That's one of the places they've been confirmed to have been. Anaheim, Atlanta, Palo Alto, San Diego. They're actually going overseas as well. But the idea here is that they want to collect street-level images and be able to show those on maps. And what you're ultimately going to see here, it's going to take a while, but you're going to see it when you're driving in your car. You're going to see on your navigation, you're going to see an actual picture of where you're going. And it's going to be powered by Apple Maps, and that's going to be powered by your iPhone that's powered by CarPlay. So it all ties in together.
Jeez Louise. You got something you want to surprise me with? Did you have it?
Let's see here.
Because I got something here for you.
Well, let's do yours first.
Okay, because now if you have an iOS 9, iPhone will now be able to track your sexual activity.
Yes, I heard about that.
How often, when, and how you have sex, and whether or not you use protection and anything else. It's actually available as an app. I said seriously, but that's true.
Well, so the point of that is Apple wants their products to be health-based. They believe that the next push is, everybody's going to become like California and care about their health. That the only thing we're going to think about all day long is how many steps we've taken, what our heartbeat is like, how much oxygen is in our blood right now. And so this is yet another piece of data that relates to your health that Apple's making it easy for you to track. And, of course, share.
Of course, share.
Absolutely, you can share it.
Well, they're saying that they're not going to. It'll be kept private unless you opt to share it.
Well, of course, until somebody hacks in, right?
That is my point exactly. And why would you even have an app for this? This is like
it's data, Alan. We all live in a world of data.
So maybe they should have an app every time you use the facilities. You go to the bathroom.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
maybe you should, pee on the phone. It can test the quality of the urine and, give you some data right there.
I don't even want to think about this stuff. What do you have for me real quick? We got about a minute.
Oh, retailers. If you're a retailer, Facebook wants you to put a beacon in your store so that when people come into your store and they have a Facebook app on their phone, it will then trigger them and say, hey, you are in this store and we're going to give you information and special offers about the store you're in. So it's further tracking you every step.
Every move you make, every step you take, we'll be watching you.
That's right.
Kevin Richards with Ventura Web Design with our tech news. You want to find out more about Ventura Web Design and get in touch with Kevin Richards? Easy. Go to allenstock.com on the right-hand side of the page. You'll see the Ventura Web Design logo. Click onto that, and you'll be able to talk directly with Kevin Richards and all the other good folks at Ventura Web Design. Very, very easy to get in touch with them. They do a great job. By way of disclosure, they, of course, developed the allenstock.com web page, which looks fantastic. We'll do it again next Thursday.
Absolutely. And check out allenstock.com. There's going to be a long video of your segment about the downtown transportation.
The strip, actually. Strip. Yeah. We're going to be putting that up today or tomorrow.